me. 3, 2, 1.
Hello guys, Junior back again. This time we're going to do a review of the Irem Collection1. This is the PS4 version, but it's also out for Switch. I was given this code for review purposes, and there was no stipulation to anything I said. Nothing's going to be reviewed before it goes up. It's just send them a review after I've done it. So everything is, I'm going to say, is my own opinion here. So anyway, Irem Collection. So let's get into it and I'll show you what we've got. Right then, so basically you get 3 games. You get Imagefight, you get Imagefight 2, and you get Xmultyply. So with the you get different versions on here. So basically you get the Imagefight NES US version. You also get the Japanese Famicom version, which is the NES. I'm not sure what the differences are, mind. You get Imagefight Arcade, the Japanese version, and you get Imagefight World version. And then you get the PC Engine version, which never came out anywhere else. So that's basically all the versions of Imagefight you get. You also get Imagefight 2, which was an exclusive to the Japanese PC Engine, and never came out on anything else. It was on a CD. So I don't know why you showed the Hue card, it was actually a CD. Good game as well. And you get Xmultyply, which is another Irem arcade game. You also get the Japanese version, and you get the world version. Say this collection is 3 games, obviously with all the multiple versions. At the moment it goes for, I think it's £20 on the download. I think it's about 33 if you get it on disc. Going by Arcade Archives, if you bought their arcade games on there, you pay £5.60 or £5.50, or I say £5.50. You pay for one of the games, so essentially you're getting 3 games here. So we'll call that £16.50. And say this is 20. I don't think it's that bad value for money really for what you're getting, and the fact that you are getting multiple versions of Imagefight as well. So price-wise, I think this is pretty good. They are planning on 5 different collections. They probably could have put them all on one collection and just chucking it out for like 60 quid. But I probably see why they're doing it separately, because maybe there are a lot of people who wouldn't pay that much for a collection of old arcade games. So there's 5 collections, with this being the first one. They have announced some of the second ones. So the second collection is going to be Gunforce and Gunforce 2 and Air Duel. So that could be really good, to be honest. So Gunforce games are fun, and Air Duel's quite a fun game as well. The third collection then is going to be Mr. Heli, Mystic Riders and Dragon Breed, which is also 3 very nice games. And the other 2 they haven't announced yet. So who knows what they're doing. At the moment you can buy the entire collection if you want for £142.90 in a box set and like a big sleeve and everything, which I don't know, I suppose is quite a bit really, to be honest. You're going to pay that much for him, but obviously if you're buying them here and there when they're actually coming out, you're going to pay £20 a piece, and you'll end up paying £100 if you want them all if you buy it on the download. So there is that, and you, like I said, they're about 33 quid I think they are separately if you wanted to buy them. So this collection is done pretty good. So what we'll do is we'll start with Xmultyply since I'm on it, and we'll play the JP version. There probably is some differences between the world version and the Japanese version, but to be honest I don't know what they are, so I'm not going to go into that. So we'll just start at the Japanese version. It does take a little bit to load after pressing the button to start and actually get into the game menu. Right, here we are. So in the game menu, there's a lot of options in this game. They've really given you quite a lot of stuff to play with, which is quite nice. And that does go a little bit more to the extra price you're paying. So you got your standard starter game, which allows you to play the standard mode. Which then gives you, you can use cheats, you can use save states, you can use the rewind function which this game has, and you can change the difficulty level. Or you can just play the plain arcade version, which basically gives you exactly the same as the arcade board does, but you get trophies. And you don't get trophies in the standard version. In challenge modes then, challenge mode is literally the dip switches on the arcade board. So different difficulty. So play the game at a different difficulty on 1 credit. So try and do a 1 credit clear. This in the options is where it gets interesting. You've got control setup, so you can change any button. So I'm going to change that to that button, and I'm going to change shot to that button as well. Aim mode is basically when I don't even know what it does on your actually aim mode, to be honest. So I tell you what, let's do that and see what it actually does. You can change your start. Coin is mapped to the right, pushing down the right stick, and there's a button for rewind. So we'll do the rewind button. We'll put that there. So we'll go back. In video, this is where it gets quite interesting. You've got, if I go this way, you've got a full screen mode, which is basically stretched out and doesn't look great, but stay if you want it. You've got a standard 4.3, which is what the original board's running, but a DAR version, which I'm not entirely sure what the DAR stands for. That could be with interpolation or interpolation, or without it, because there's a 1.1 PAR version as well. So we'll have a look at these when I'm playing the game anyway. There's a perfect mode, which is perfect pixel. So each pixel has been changed to be square, at least I think they have to be more square, or it could be like the perfect fit. And you've got a perfect 1 times, which is the exact resolution of the arcade board. So if you want to play it like a stamp, you can. So we'll go back there. You've got a wallpaper option, which is basically none, the stars, or the nebula. So we'll just turn it off for now. And you can change the brightness stuff of that wallpaper. This is interesting. Instead of like, you know, if you've got color blindness mode or anything like that, you can actually change the color palettes. You can have red, green, and blue, black and white, blue, green, red, blue, red, green, red, blue, green, or green, red, blue, or green, blue, red. So that makes the game look quite different as well, which is quite interesting. So you can change your color palettes. So that might be handy if you've got any problems seeing certain colors. Shaders, these are literally filters you can put over the top. You've got a CRT filter, which tries to emulate an old CRT with scan lines. I don't know why they think old CRTs are really blurry, because arcade monitors weren't essentially for the time, but you got that bit of a blur going on. You've also got a vengeful CRT, which is pretty like a shadow mask version. It gives like, if you look at an old CRT, you can see each pixel, and a lot of TVs have different types of shadow masks. And this gives you like a shadow mask option with a bit of blur and stuff. You've got Arcade Glow, which gives you like a pixel perfect mode, but it tries to emulate the glow of a CRT. And you've got the same by LCD. This is where they get interesting. What this does, it gives you vertical scan lines, which is a bit weird in Xmultyply because it's not a vertical game. So I don't know whether they created the scan lines for the Imagefight games and then didn't bother giving you a horizontal scan line option for Xmultyply, which is a bit odd, but we'll just go with it. But in this mode, you can change the tint of the colors, so you can basically change your little color palettes to give you different tints. You can change the intensity as well. You can also change your color glow, so you can basically, this more essentially just makes the game a little bit brighter or darker, which you compensate for scan lines. You've got color highs as well, so you can that one does the scan line things, so you can brighten the screen up a little bit. So like there is quite nice. You also got scanline depth. Scanline depth, this is where it gets a bit weird. When you put scan lines on, it gives you horizontal scan lines. So you end up with like a mesh over the top of the screen, which is a bit odd by vertical scan lines you get. So it works in Imagefight, but yeah, you end up with it does give you a filter, but it ends up looking a bit weird. But some of it can look alright. So yeah, that's a bit of an odd choice that is there. They should have really done a horizontal scan lines for this game in particular. Maybe they'll patch it and they'll do it. I don't know. Gameplay, you can use stick aim. So on this, you've got tentacles that move around. You can actually use the second stick on a PlayStation pad to actually move the tentacles to wherever you want. Same with Imagefight, you can actually use it to move the pods around, which is quite interesting. You can change the difficulty, give it extra lives, control of vibration, and you can change the rewind. So you can do basically 1 or 2 times. Basically, that's what it gives you. Cheat modes, all Irem arcade boards have literally got an invincibility dip switch. My Kung Fu Master's even got one back that far as well. So the option is you can switch that on if you want to. So you can have invincibility if you just want to run through it. Documentation would make you think there's documentation on the game, but it isn't. It's just credits for the people who made the game. And then you can reset all options. So if I go back, you also then has got save states. So each game you got 6 save states, which you can use for practicing, and you can load each state whenever you want and save whenever you want. So let's start it up. So you got your standard mode, which allows you to use all the control features, the rewind features, save states, the cheats and dip settings, or you can just play the arcade mode set on normal on 1 credit to 1 credit play. So just to show you the game, I'll just do the standard mode. So Xmultyply does follow the Irem sort of biomechanical sort of theme, as you'll see now. I will put a credit in, which is the right stick, and we'll start it. I'll show you some of the different screen modes as well. Here's the rewind. You can turn auto fire on as well, which I haven't actually got turned on at the moment. So to get into the options menu, as you'll see now, I'll have the tentacles. So they're the ones it controls when you move it. But on the PlayStation pad, you've got that control setup where you can place them in position, which will make the game a little bit easier. So if I press the touchpad, if I go into options and controls, so if I want that one there, I want auto shot there actually, I want aim mode, I'll leave where it is, and that can stay where it is. So we'll go back. Right, video mode. So you've seen the first video mode, which is the DAR mode, with the vertical scan lines. So I'll turn the vertical scan lines off, and then we'll go back into the game. So this is the game without the vertical scan lines, and now I'm using, you can see where the pod kills those little enemies. So you can now see where I'm using the auto fire, which is quite good. So touchpad, we will go to video controls, and we will change it to full screen. So basically you've got your stretched out full screen mode, which the game is never meant to run in this mode, but it's there if you want it. You also got you got the PAR mode, which I think this gives you not bilinear filtering, interpolation or interpolation. So basically it doesn't, you don't get no like weird shimmering and the scrolling and stuff. I think, and say don't quote me on that, I might be slightly wrong. So there's that. Oh, by the way, gameplay wise, this plays nice and tight. I think the input lag is pretty good on here, to be honest. It does feel like just playing it on main. It does feel rather nice. So we'll go to video again. So then we'll do the perfect mode, which is a slightly smaller. There'll be no shimmering or anything. You do notice a little bit of juddery scrolling. A lot of Irem arcade games run a really weird refreshes, like you're talking like 57 point whatever, and you do get a little bit of a sort of non-smooth, if you know, look. I say when they were playing these games on a CRT, the CRT you wouldn't get that jerky look. Here, this first boss, and you can basically block stuff he fires at you. So it's a nice game, Xmultyply. A lot of people don't talk about it, but it's got some nice features and stuff, and some good bosses. Classic Irem, essentially. Reminds me in some ways of R-Type Leo. Maybe R-Type Leo was an idea they took from this. R-Type Leo, you've got the pods you can use. Not like the original R-Type where you can fire the pod from the front. So that's your 1.1. So then the next one I'll go into is your 1 times. So I'll show you this for a laugh. So that's where the original arcade resolution runs it. Still plays right in this mode, but I'm not sure why you'd want to play in this mode, but it's there if you want it essentially. So I will turn this back to PAR mode, and then I will turn. All right, we'll change the color palette just to make it interesting, and then we'll put the CRT filter on. So now you can see the CRT filter, which actually gives you horizontal scan lines like you should have. You've got that sort of bilinear filter on top of it. I think it's bilinear filter. So you get a little bit of blurry filter, if you know what I'm saying. The other one you've got, so we'll change color palette again. You've got ventral CRT, which gives you like a shadow mask, which, apart from the bilinear filter or whatever it's got on top, the blur filter essentially. See, this is where using those pods come in very, very handy. Being able to place them wherever you want. So there's that. I say these options all apply to every game on here, by the way, so I'll only show them once. You'll get the idea. So we'll change the color palette again, and we'll go to Arcade Glow. So this gives you a really glowy sort of screen. It reminds me of like some of the 360 games. It's almost like putting HDR on you. So there's that. And also then we've got same by LCD. So I won't touch any of these options at the moment. I'll leave them as they are. So when we go through there, basically you've got vertical scan lines. A bit hard to see, but they are there. Which is a bit weird because you'd want horizontal scan lines on this one. But you've got vertical scan lines. And then if I tap into it and then I say go back and change all these, like that'll give you like you can change the screen. It shows you what it does. Can we change the screen bright to dark or whatever, intensity of those scan lines. So I'll turn that right up. That's the tint intensity though, so I'll turn that down. You can change the color a little bit. You can highlight everything a little bit. He's got like scan lines are a bit weird now. Look, see. So you can make the scan lines a little bit, which is a bit weird because they're vertical scan lines, which is a bit odd. But when you've got scan line depth, if you add that, for some reason, it adds horizontal scan lines. So that's a little bit messed up. This mode should have vertical scan lines in the horizontal scan lines in this mode, in the same by LCD instead of vertical scan lines. So I'm not sure whether that's a bit of either a bit of a glitch or they missed it when they were playing the games. Works perfect for the other games, just doesn't work for this one. So if I go out, this is like a bit exaggerated. You almost get that Game Boy LCD sort of look to it, which still look half bad. And you get nice sharp pixels as well. But yeah, it's a bit weird that they should have been verticals. They should have been horizontal scan lines by default, and then when you do that option to change the scan lines, it adds vertical ones, not the other way around. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take all this off because it's going to look a bit weird. So I'm just going to go back to your none basically. Oh, you also got crispy and soft. I think one of these adds interpolation as well, but I'm not entirely sure. Like if I do the soft one, yeah, I say it's not quite so pixely. Got a little bit of a filter on it to make it not quite so pixely. Doesn't look too bad to be honest. And then if I go to options, gameplay, and then I put it on crisp. Now this does look a little bit more pixely now. You can see the edges on the ship, where the other one smooths them off a little bit, and there's an option to turn them off. So the crisp one is quite nice. The other one don't look too bad to be honest. Oh, also, and I'll change the color palette back. So as you can see, they've added They have added a lot of options for your money. There's obviously a bit of extra time has gone into the options, but the Xmultyply ones are a little bit messed up. So as you see in this game, it's basically your tentacles and everything are quite a major part of the game. You got to use them for defense, and you've got to, like, if I go use them for defense. I'll show you the game a little bit more. Use them for defense, and you obviously get the weapons out of them as well. Let's have one go and see how far we can get through this level. Second level's a bit tricky. The boss is a bit tricky. I say, playability-wise, runs really nice. Sound-wise, it runs good as well. These games have got your classic sort of Irem type music, which works well. And obviously, I crash into him as he goes up. I say this is a pretty nice arcade game. Quite like Xmultyply. It's quick on the PlayStation as well. That sort of arcade Gears release thing they did is pretty nice. Oh, I wanted to back up then. Give it one more go. Actually, I tell you what, I'll go back to and give you a better idea of the game. So if I... No, I don't want to close game. I want to... Actually, let me just die. Whoa. Let me just die. Don't continue. Come on. I'm not entirely sure when this came out either. What sort of games it came out in between. But anyway, that's Xmultyply. As you can see, interesting game, interesting mechanics. It's got some cool levels, quite biomechanical. It's got that big classic sort of Irem giant boss on the second level, which just take a little bit of practice to get past. Like I said, the little orbs, well, not the orbs, the tentacles, you can use them for defense. A lot of Irem games like that, you have, especially they shoot 'em ups, have a little defense pod. They did make a few without it, mind. So yeah, that's a nice game. So what we'll do is we'll close this game and I'll show you Imagefight then. So we end back up with the loading screen and stuff then. It does take a little while to go back. I say, I'll give you a good overview of these games and then you can make your mind up whether you want to pick this collection up or not. So, Imagefight. So I'll show you the arcade one. So, say all the we'll do the world one just the hell of it. All those video options all apply to every game on here as well. So I won't bother going back into them because they apply to all of them. This is a vertical arcade game, by the way, as well. Same with the standard and the normal modes and stuff. That all applies. Same with the everything that I showed you applies to every game essentially. So we'll get that going. This is a classic Irem arcade game. Just remember the first loop on this is a practice. It's basically a simulation. And then the second loop is the proper game. Handy to have the autofire. Change speeds as well, which is quite nice. You can get pretty fast on this. I think I prefer the normal speed, maybe sometimes speed 2, depending on what you're doing. So we'll go speed 2. In this one, you pick up pods. You pick up a blue pod, they fire forward. You pick up a red pod, and you can move around and they'll fire in different directions. Can become very useful for a lot of the levels. What I'll say as well is this game is pretty damn hard. A lot of Irem games, they're all solid basically. They take a lot of practice. So it ain't going to be something you're going to pick up and just play it straight away. I did see a guy once when I was in Hei in Tokyo walk in and basically 1 life to loop this, which was super impressive. I was watching him. So I'll pick up a red pod, and as you can see, when I turn, the red pods will just move the opposite direction, which you will end up using on this because there's a lot of levels on this game that are going through sort of like mazes and stuff, and you need to shoot behind you. You also get the extra little weapons like you see on the front. There was one that fires circles off. You basically, there's a missile one, there's one that fires circles, there's one that fires, that's the circle firing one. Gotta watch these enemies. You got the one that fires obviously side to side, and there's a laser one as well. So here we go then. This boss, you've got to get in these rings. You can only shoot it. I was looking at the boss end to see where he was. Give that another go now. As I die straight away. So these games could be pretty brutal. The PC Engine one is, and this is essentially the recruit level, which is easiest level on the game. So I'll skip that one this time. I'll show you the other weapon. A lot of enemies have different types of firing as well. That a lot of them will shoot around the screen and aim in on you, and you got to know the enemies in this game to be able to basically dodge and all this stuff. This weapon's quite useful. So I'm gonna basically swap to. I'm gonna go slow. See if we can get past this boss. You got it. Now you get second level is like a big boss level, you know, big ship you got to fly around. Yeah, so this is literally just a simulation. You do the first 5 levels and then you get into the real game, and then it gets hard. So you see, notice this one does have that little bit of a jerky scrolling as well. Like I say, I think that's the fact that this game runs at a weird refresh rate. Shame they didn't put an interpolated version of this. Let's see if you can do it. So let's go to options. I did try it before and I couldn't get it working. So let's do the... See, basically you've got the really sort of vertical look. So if I do perfect, for instance, and I do crisp. Let's have a look what that is. Still a bit jerky. Let me go to par version then. Let me try that. No, it's still the same. I'll have to try these games out in main. You get the idea. This is a giant boss. This is where the pods that shoot in different directions come in very handy. Use your pods to ram them as well. These games will take you a lot of practice to beat as well. So that is the arcade version. So I'll go touchpad and I will close game. I'll show you the other 2 versions on here as well, the NES version and the PC Engine version. PC Engine version is very good. So is the NES one actually. The NES one's a lot easier than the arcade as well. So that might be a good place to start. Nice recreation of the PC Engine one as well. Everything sounds right, to be honest. Everything plays right and sounds right. I got the shadow masks on, so if I let me change that. Let me just take all that off. Just playing around with stuff I was. So this is the PC Engine version. So this is the first, you know, I think this might have been the first home version of this game. Same with this, you got your different difficulty levels. Auto shot you can pick from the start. Cyber connection. So literally in a simulation for the first one. Same in this one, you can change speeds like the arcade one. As I can say, because this is the PC Engine, you can see obviously the game was resized to fit in a 4.3 aspect ratio, so not in tight as the original arcade. Like if you didn't know, the arcade monitor is rotated to give you a longer view vertically. So this game is obviously altered a little bit to fit within a standard horizontal screen. But it does the job. Unlike I'm doing here. So the PC Engine version is very nice as well. Also can be brutally hard as well, like the arcade one. There's one boss I hate on here. There's a boss that basically it looks like a monster with two bloody claws or teeth or whatever. I need to go faster speed, don't I? And there's two balls inside it. You've got to coax the balls out. Funny as that sounds, and you've got to then go basically get inside the teeth, and then you can shoot the boss. Ah, it's a nightmare. I know it sounds hideous, coaxing those balls out, but that's what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, that boss is a nightmare. When you get to it, you'll know what I mean. It's tricky. You can't get in there when those balls are moving around because they just ram you and you're dead. And if you fire them, they like pause in place. Oh, I gotta go up. I forgot about them. They fire and the firing goes across. So let's continue, may as well. As you can see, the PC Engine one is this is hard, the arcade one. Maybe a little bit easier depending on what level you're on. Right, okay. Get rid of them ones. Go for a forward firing one. And then I'll go for the round weapons like the arcade one. See, it's a very faithful version of the arcade one. Apart from obviously the vertical aspect ratio of the arcade one. So I'm going to go back down to 0. Ah, I died. So anyway, we'll skip it from here because we'll be here all day otherwise. So I am going to go touchpad, close this game, and then we'll go back. And I'll show you the NES version or the Famicom version. I don't know whether what the differences are, but show the NES one. Surprisingly good on the NES. I used to have it for the Famicom. It's a surprisingly nice version, considering it's on an 8-bit console. So, start this one up. We'll just do the standard modes as well. Image project, okay. Cyber connector, okay. Go. I say this version is a lot easier than the other two versions. But considering, ship looks a little bit different, but considering what it's on, it's pretty nice. Surprisingly nice version. So you get to play all these ones as well, which is quite cool. You get the 3 different versions. So if you want to make it easier for yourself, probably this one is the one to start with. Or just start with the arcade one, go for it. Sprite's obviously a lot smaller. You do get quite a wide playing field though, do you? This obviously I didn't realise that it actually came out in the US as well. I thought it was just like a Famicom exclusive, obviously not. Hate those enemies. We'll have that. So I wonder if we can get free pods on this version. Go for the side firing. You can, with these weapons, if you want to get rid of them, you can ram something or ram a bullet with a weapon on the front of your ship, and it will act as a shield. It won't protect you from the sides though, but it'll act as a shield from the front. So you can basically try and swap, but once you've got a weapon, you can't. So, boss time. It's almost like the bosses take a little bit to load in this version. That is tricky. What I found in this version, if you go over here, the boss like scoots across really fast. Which is a bit weird. So anyway, that's the Famicom version, which is pretty nice as well. So we are going to show you the last game on this collection. So now we've got Imagefight 2. Right, I would say that Xmultyply in a bad game is quite reasonable on arcade difficulty. You know, it's pretty good. You can get into it. Imagefight then is a massive jump up in difficulty. It is a tricky arcade game. Don't be fooled. The game will kick your ass and it will take a lot of practice. And then you've got Imagefight 2, and this game is ridiculously hard. It's nice as a sequel, but oh man, this game is stupidly hard. This game would take a load of practice to get good at it. In fact, I'm literally just not very good at it. It's a very hard game indeed. It does have some nice intros and stuff. Classic PC Engine CD stuff and nice music as well. So, we do have a continue as well. I suppose with the save states, the rewind function and stuff, you could probably work your way through this reasonably fast, but doing it on without any of that stuff on your one credit, good luck. Same deal, speed. As you see, just from the start, this game is hard. He died there. I think I've only ever got to about level 3 or 4 on you, and I guess it gets so hard. I'm making it look reasonably easy beer, mine, but you'll be fooled. Okay. So there's the laser weapon. You get that weapon in the other games as well. So this one's got some. It does have some nice sort of space backgrounds and stuff on it. Plays good as well, like the other games. Same principle with the enemies and all that. It's just got a lot more different enemies than the original game. We got our third pod going. Right, so we've got a boss. Right, we need to speed up quite a bit for this boss. You can also shoot your pods off as well. Oh, I forgot it comes back. Yeah, this one the boss fires down, it goes down and then comes back, so you've got to basically shoot it across and then dodge the stuff and go back the other way. Yes, as you can see, this game is hard. It's good though, it is good. I wouldn't mind it on CD, it's probably ridiculously expensive these days. Most of the good PC Engine games, like this is probably quite rare. I never seen this back in the day. Like I haven't got this on the PC Engine. I don't think I've ever even seen it for sale, to be honest. The forward firing one. Right. I'm gonna go fast speed. Slow speed is no good at all in this boss. Right, so basically, instead of this way, go over here. Yeah. Back up this side. And he changes. You think, oh, this is good. And then he rams you. And it fires lots of these missiles at you, which is an absolute nightmare to dodge. But anyway, you get the idea. I'm not going to get very far on that while doing a review. Hard damn game that is. Right, so overall, guys, if I go back out, what do I think of this as a collection? I would say that there's two games in here that are really hard. One of them is solid, and one of them is quite accessible. They are classic Irem arcade games. They do have that arcade difficulty. Xmultyply is a really fun game, which I've not played a huge amount. I have played it quite a bit. I've played in the past, but not a massive amount, and I wouldn't mind trying to do a 1cc of it. And it does R-Type Leo is very similar to it in some ways. So maybe they got the ideas from there. I don't know, but this is a pretty nice game. I quite like that game. It's pretty good. I would say all these games on your are probably up there in the 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 range. To be honest, they are a nice collection. Most of IREM's games are all fantastic. There is some games are better than others, but generally IREM's games are normally top notch. Um, say Imagefight is a classic, very hard game mind. Know what you're getting into, but it is a classic, and with the free versions you get as well, which is quite nice. And Imagefight 2, which was the PC Engine exclusive, which is probably ridiculously priced these days if you want it, but balls hard. So if you are going to play that game, those save states and those rewinds are going to come in very handy if you're about to learn it. So overall, I think as for a package for 20 quid, with all the options they've given you for the videos and everything, I think it's not bad at all, to be honest. I think it's quite nice. Um, yeah, so would I recommend it? I will recommend it, but you're gonna be more of a hardened shmup fan really to get the best out of some of these games. These are the two image fight games. So if you're thinking you're just gonna jump in and have a fun time, and it's gonna be an easy pickup, they're not really. So you got to be more into shmups really to buy this collection. But to be honest, if you are into shmups, you probably know these games anyway. Yeah, so pretty nice collection. 20 quid, it's not too bad. You will end up paying if you want to collect them all, mind. 100 quid for the entire collection. It will be interesting what they're going to release for 3 and 4, so 4 and 5 release collections. So they've got to do an R-Type collection, haven't they? To be honest. They can't do an Irem collection without an R-Type. So hopefully you'll get R-Type 1, 2, 3 and Leo. That'll be pretty sweet as well. Also, the first two R-Type games are really hard as well, same as all arcade games. And the fifth one, I would, to be honest, I would like to see Legend of the Hero Toma, Hammer and Harry, and Ninja Spirit. That would be a banging collection of games if you got them together. Um, that'd be really good. If you're out there and you're making these games and you see my review, those games, do that for number 5. That'd be really good. So yep, I do recommend it, guys. It is good. If I was going to give it a mark out of 10, I would say as a collection with some nice options, even though the scan lines are a bit weird for Xmultyply, they definitely worth an 8, maybe a 9 out of 10. But you got to be into shoot 'em ups really to get the most usage out of this, to be honest. But if you are, like say, you're gonna like them. So yeah, definitely recommended. 20 quid, I don't think is too bad a price really, to be honest, for what it is. It probably would have been nice if they'd done I know a 50 quid release and just put everything on there in one big collection, like the Capcom collections they come out, that probably would have been better. But I suppose, Papa's got to get paid, haven't he? You know what I mean? That's what they do it for. But 20 quid is not too bad. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the review. I know it was a bit of a long one, but there was a lot of stuff to go through. And I'll catch you next time. So bye now.